annual Grandpa's celebration. I want people to know that this event is being recorded. It is also being recorded on our live stream Youth Bureau Facebook page. So I want to, hi, Reverend Washington, how are you?
God bless you. Nice to
Okay.
hear your voice.
Oh,
Hey, Reverend
Thank you.
Washington.
God bless
yes,
you, Reverend.
yes.
God bless.
I want to say we thank all of you for being here to help us celebrate our grandfathers, our grandpas. This is an effort that started some years ago, thanks to the efforts of Jim Eisenberg and Rich Leeson. Rich Leeson, as you know, has passed on, but he laid the foundation for this grandpa's program. Again, my name is Frank Williams. I'm director of the Youth Bureau. I'm a happy grandpa. I have a little 4-year-old grandson who brings tremendous joy in my life, and of course, with all of the young people here in the city of White Plains and in Westchester County, we all consider that these young people are our sons and our daughters. So on behalf of Grandpas United, we welcome you here to this celebration, and we're happy to honor grandfathers who are serving, leading, engaging young people who are letting their light shine in this community. We celebrate their efforts to make White Plains and Westchester County a better community for all, for families, children, and our young people. So I'm happy to have with us our mayor, Mayor Thomas Roach, who will bring greetings. And the mayor, being a father figure, is actively involved with our Grandpa's program, and we thank him for his leadership, helping us to stay on track, to stay focused, to make sure that our young people have connections and relationships with everyone in our community. So Mayor Roach, thank you for being a part of this celebration, and we welcome you to this event.
Well, thank you, Frank. I'm happy to be part of today's celebration, as I am always happy to visit with the grandpas. You're always having a good time from what I can see. And when we were in the green room before we came on to the live call, a lot of talk about who was going to deliver what for breakfast. So I'm waiting for my latkes or whatever else you're going to bring me. But I think that this program, which seemed like a great idea when it started, I want to thank Jim and of course Rich posthumously, and you, Frank, for everything you've done. Frank, to say that you're a happy grandfather is to really minimize it. I mean, you're like the happiest grandfather I know. But I think the nature of the program, where you take people who have have a lot of life experience and wisdom and more time than they had in other parts of their life, and match them up with people in need, it's really taken off. And the honors that have been bestowed upon the organization are impressive, and I think it is serving as a model that will be replicated around the country. So that's something we can all be proud of. And I can tell you this: if you're watching this and you're not a member yet and you'd like to be, they also have a good time. Every time I'm around them, they're having a good time. So I would highly recommend it. And I know we have a long program, so I'll leave it at that. But I just want to thank everyone involved. This is a great program. I can't wait till we get to meet in person again.
Thank you, Mayor Roach, and thank you. And we too, we look forward to the day that we're meeting, and especially we're having our breakfast programs with grits and shrimps and sausage and all of that. If you haven't been to any of our breakfast programs, they are something to be had. So we're looking forward in the future, Reverend Washington, to our gathering so that we could break bread together. And we know in our community how important it is for people to break bread and to come together. I am so very happy now to welcome Senator Shelley Mayer. Senator Mayer is the chair of the New York State Education Committee, and she brings skills and leadership, and she acknowledges that Grandpas United is one of the true jewels in our city and in our state and in our nation. So we welcome Senator Mayer to bring greetings as well.
Thank you, Frank. And it's really a pleasure to be here. Like the mayor, I wish we were together. I look forward to this breakfast. I don't know that I got the shrimp and grits previously, but I'm in line for that. But credit to the grandpas for the work, but also credit for the idea that all of these kids are our kids. You know, that is such an important idea that sometimes people lose sight of. This is a tough moment in our community and in our nation, and to sort of take the idea that we are the parents and grandparents of all of these children, and all of them with love and support will do better and will grow in wonderful ways. That's just such a fundamental premise, and sometimes we lose sight of it. So I'm so appreciative that Grandpas United takes that idea and couples it with fun, as you say. I agree, Frank, there's always laughter when I get on. I sort of feel like, as a grandma, I don't quite fit in the grandpa, but the spirit of love and adoption of our kids belonging to all of us is so special. And it is a program that I hope we can replicate, not only in New York, but throughout the nation, because it's just a gem of a model. So I wish you have a wonderful breakfast and award ceremony. Congratulations to all the awardees, and thank you for the work you do for our community and for our state. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you, Senator Mayer. I'm not sure if County Legislator Alfreda Williams is on board. We have her down for bringing greetings, or I didn't see her posted there, or our Youth Board Chair, Justin Brash. I'm not sure if he's in just yet. Or Westchester County Commissioner of DSS, Kevin McGuire. I didn't see him posted. If not, we will pick them up later in the program. It's my honor now to introduce my friend, colleague. We go way, way back many, many years, Dr. Jim Eisenberg, who's the co-founder of Grandpas United. And Jim is a grandpa too. He has a bunch of young grandchildren, and it seems like his family now is just exploding. All of a sudden it's boom, boom, boom. Grandchildren are all over the place, but I'm so happy to introduce our MC for the program, my friend, Dr. Jim Eisenberg.
Thank you, Frank. And I want to thank everybody. We've got a lot of people who've joined us this morning, and want to thank everyone. I want to particularly, I see Chief Castelli from the White Plains Police Department is here. I want to welcome him. He's been one of our Coffee with Grandpa speakers. I also see one of my colleagues from the University of New Haven, Dr. Lorenzo Boyd, who's a grandpa and has done an incredible amount of important police reform work across the United States, and is Vice President of the University of New Haven. I want to acknowledge Duncan Magnuson, who's from Encore, which is an intergenerational organization that White Plains Grandpas United has so graciously received support from because of our intergenerational work. And we want to acknowledge Encore as really being in the forefront across the country of building intergenerational programs. I also must say, one of our grandpas, Dean Wilshire, I see his daughter here, and their grandkids who are good friends. So we've got a broad community of people who've come together this morning. I want to say thank you. And I do want to acknowledge the late Rich Leibson, because he wrote the first story about grandpas in the Journal News. And it was a front page story, and the headline was "Gramps, Not Grumps." And I think that's kind of the story in some way of what some people think of Gramps. But with Grandpas United, I think we're breaking that image. We've done a lot of things with mentoring. We're working with the Youth Court. We'll be working with DSS. We've had great collaboration with the library, with White Plains School. Superintendent Rick has been fantastic, and Church Street School. We've got some fellas there we've been working with now for almost a couple of years. We've got some grandpas who have really got more talent than one could imagine. We had a talent show, which a song, "We Got Rhythm," which we might be able to hear today. Coffee with Grandpas monthly we had at the library. And one of the sessions I think was really powerful, focused on health issues, was a really important one talking about dementia. And I think a lot of us have, sadly experienced and learning how to work with family and others on some challenging health issues. And of course, last year we had a fantastic Coffee with Grandpas and a community breakfast where we keep saying shrimp and grits, and the fantastic leadership in cooking that's gone on with many grandpa members. So in the spirit of today, I want to take a moment. We sadly lost one of our really most talented beginning grandpas, Saul Gibbons, in the last month. And Saul is someone who I met at a White Plains Senior Center memoir writing program. And he was an incredible writer and then became an active member of Grandpas United. He had been the chair of the Electricians Union here in Westchester County, and really was ready to opened a lot of doors for kids about apprenticeship. And he was really an important member, and for me became, as part of the Grandpas, which happens with many of us, we become new friends. We developed new friendships in Grandpas. So we want to take a minute and honor Saul, and we're very, very pleased to have his daughter Fran here, and would like to turn it over to you, Fran, and ask you if you'd like to say a few words about your dad.
Sure. Thank you, Jim. And I want to acknowledge that my other siblings, Mark, Sue, and Rochelle, are on this call. I'm the daughter of Solomon Gibbons. I'm the youngest of 4 children and 3 children by marriage, 5 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. After my mom passed, my dad was not one to rest on his laurels, and he needed to get more active and more engaged. And the best $5 I ever spent was signing him up for the memoirs writing class that Jim just referred to, where he met Jim and was really inspired by this group called Grandpas United that Jim told him about, and got involved. And he was so proud of his work that he did with your organization. So my siblings and I thought it was really fitting that my dad would want a donation site developed to help the Grandpas United organization further their efforts. And that's what we're working on. We're working on creating a website where people can make donations in my dad's memory to help your organization expand your wonderful work. And I think that's all I can say right now.
Well, thank you so much, and thank your entire family. And I think for me and others, Saul was a very special guy. And I used to love to listen. Saul was 94. He grew up in England. He came here right after World War II, and I know in the memoir writing course, he had so many interesting ideas and experiences as a leader, and he really was an important member of Grandpa. So thank you so much to your family, to you, and we are looking forward to building a whole scholarship program in his name. And thank you. We're just glad you're here. So Frank, why don't I turn it over to you, and you'll introduce our speaker for today. And then we've got 5 fantastic award winners here who, when you see the pictures, they really look good. And we want to honor them. So Frank, why don't you please, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Jim, and again, our acknowledgement to Fran and her family in the memory of Saul, who was just a kind individual who poured into our young people. I mean, not every young person goes to college, and Saul was speaking about vocational opportunities and helping our young people to pursue dreams outside of the college experience. And we thank Saul and our friend and her family for sharing Saul with us for the time that he was engaged with Grandpas United. Before I introduce our speaker, I just want to acknowledge a dear friend of mine, Brother Thabiti Boone, who is a national leader in the fatherhood movement. Brother Boone has worked with President Barack Obama as a part of his team, the National Fatherhood Initiative, and he's working with Allen Houston and the New York Knicks and the NBA around issues of fatherhood. He is somebody who has just championed the work of fathers throughout the nation, and I just want to thank him again for being a part of today's Grandpas United program. He's also my fraternity brother and a member of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
And a new grandpa.
Yeah, and a grandpa, absolutely. So our speaker today really needs no introduction. He's a fixture in our community, in our state. His name is Reverend Dr. Edward O. Williamson. He's my pastor. He's an honorary member of Grandpas United. He's married to Reverend Deborah Williamson. They have two daughters, Jen and Steph, who are married, and they have two young itty bitty children who the apple of their lives. You know, when I say that I'm a happy grandpa, well, he's a happy grandpa as well. But Reverend Williamson comes to us from East St. Louis, Illinois, where he was raised and went to school, and he went on to college, and he has an earned doctorate degree. And he's been with us here in White Plains, the pastor of Bethel Baptist Church. He's a pastor, teacher, he's a leader. He serves on many boards and associations throughout the country, national, local, and statewide. He's a member of the White Plains Ministerial Council with Reverend Trollinger. He is actively engaged in building families, strengthening families, and pouring into people how to live a moral, decent life. So it's my honor and privilege to present to all of us this morning my pastor, Reverend Dr. Edward O. Williamson.
All right, good morning, good morning. Can everybody hear me? Making sure, testing.
There you go.
Oh, okay, we can hear me?
Here
All
you
right.
go.
God bless. Thank you. I always call him Deacon Williams. He's one of the first persons I met when I was candidating to become pastor of Bethel Baptist Church, and he's still with me. So I thank you, Frank Williams, for that wonderful introduction. Also, I count it a privilege and an honor to be able to speak with you this morning. I usually say something like, it's so good to see your wonderful smiling faces. And I just love to see people's smiling faces and people filled with joy, even in the midst of a pandemic and this coronavirus situation. But thank you, grandpas, for allowing me to be the speaker this morning. I want to give a salute and a shout out to all the honorees. Congratulations for the work that you've done and for the special recognition that you're going to receive today. Not only do I want to acknowledge Frank Williams, the Executive Director of the Youth Bureau, but also Dr. Eisenberg, the co-founder, Senator Mayer, Mayor Roach, and just the wealth of people that are here, Reverend Washington, pastor, and all my pastoral colleagues and ministers that are joining this, and leaders in the community, and grandpas. So I only have a few minutes, and I told Deacon Williams what I told people when I first arrived in White Plains. It really takes me about 10 minutes to clear my throat. So trying to speak within 10 minutes is a challenge for me, but we're going to give it a shot this morning. And I got a big old clock in front of me to help me stay on track. So we'll move forward. One of the local pastors, colleague of mine and friend, a senior pastor in the community of Poughkeepsie, Reverend Dr. Jesse Boyd Bottoms, says, if you're ever walking along and you see a turtle on top of a fence post, you know that it didn't get there by itself. And I'm just like the turtle. Whatever I am today or whatever I've achieved in life, I didn't get here by myself. But there were some helpers, there were some mentors, there were some people that poured into my life. And one of the most important figures in my life was my grandfather. My grandfather basically, and my grandmother, my grandparents raised me because I came up in the era where both parents worked outside the home. And my mother was a worker, clerical worker for the county for a number of years. My father had numerous jobs, but all of them required my parents to be out of the home. And so my grandparents basically raised me, and I learned many things from my grandfather. So much of who I am today is the result of a grandpa in my life, pouring in and sharing values with me. I want to say to you, grandpas that make up this fine organization, that you're following the tradition of two great organizations that may have fallen out of favor with society, but they've done great work over the years. One, I would say, is the Sunday school. And the Sunday school was an organization that was started in the 18th century. And the idea behind the Sunday school was that in those days, children were working in the factories as a result of the Industrial Revolution. And so children had to work during the week, long hours during the week, but the organizers of Sunday school saw a need for education, for educating those children. And so they founded the Sunday school. And many Sunday schools had men in them that were teaching young men, not just religious education, but also skills and also academic information to equip them. So you're following a long tradition, the organization of Sunday schools. Another organization that may not be as popular with some today, but has contributed into the lives of others over the years is the Boy Scouts of America. Started in scouting movement, started in about 1907 or 1908. And that organization has touched many young lives. We know that there are challenges with any organization perceptions over the years, but over the years, those organizations have made a difference in people's lives. In the same way, I believe Grandpa's United is going to impact people's lives. You're going to help some people that may seem like turtles now to get on top and to position themselves. From personal experience, you know, I'm a grandpa now, but my personal experience is that living with my grandfather allowed me to be exposed to senior men in the community. And what happened was those senior men poured into my lives. I can tell you about men that I can remember today, and I can give them a shout out today. They didn't have Grandpa's United, but they were a neighborhood organization of community volunteers. Mr. Lucky was a neighbor, and Mr. Lucky helped me because Mr. Lucky had a farm in his backyard and he had pigs and animals. I'm from the Midwest, but he taught me the value of working, and he taught me how to make the best of what you have. Mr. Hare, another neighbor, would watch out for kids when they were walking up and down the streets of our community. There was a neighbor by the name of Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson was a senior man in the community, one of our neighbors. But what Mr. Johnson did was teach me how to earn a living, how to make money. And so when I was young, I wanted to go to the store and buy things. Mr. Johnson said, here's what you do, get your wagon. And Mr. Johnson would take me through the neighborhood and I collect bottles, and then I turn the bottles in, amen, and get the deposit from the bottles. And that's how I would get money. My grandfather taught me how to cut grass. You know, and so they taught me how to be industrious. They taught me that I could have some skills and that I could make a difference in the community. I want to say to the grandpas that there are young men and women out there today that just need some encouragement. They need someone to pour into their lives. They need someone to share their experiences and their skills with them so that they can be challenged and that they can be encouraged, amen, through adolescence into young adulthood and adulthood. And that's what you're doing as this organization. It's a very valuable thing that you're doing as a result of the men that poured into my life over the years, especially my formative years. As a result, I have been moved to make a difference with my life. I've been moved to give back to the community that I live in. I started out working for the Boy Scouts of America. And that was a way of giving back. I coached baseball. I found ways to help others in the way that someone helped me. So grandpas, you are serving as mentors and role models that will encourage people in how they conduct their lives in the future. And if you pour into the life of a young person, then that will encourage them sometime down the road to, as we say, pay it forward, to give back, to help someone that's coming behind them. I know I'm getting right at my 10-minute mark now. And so I just want to close with a poem that I picked up with the Boy Scouts. And like I said, 10 minutes, I won't get to hoop and won't get to really shout it out today, Reverend Washington, but I'll close with a poem that I heard in the Boy Scouts. And the poem is called 100 Years From Now. 100 years from now, it won't matter. It won't matter what kind of car I drove. It won't matter what kind of house I lived in. It won't even matter how much money I have in my bank account. But what will matter 100 years from now is the way that I was important in the life of a kid. And so grandpas, 100 years from now, some kid may be impacted by what you do today, pouring into some young person's life. So I congratulate you, grandpas. I salute our honorees, and I thank you for this opportunity to share a few minutes with you. Deacon Williams, I think that's less than 10 minutes.
You did good. Pastor, you did good.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Reverend Williamson. I really, very, very powerful. Really appreciate it. So as we move forward now, we want to begin our award presentations. And I'm pleased to have the honor of giving the award for just fantastic work in the community to Joe Mosley, who really did probably in many ways broke ground for grandpas when he, with Deacon DeWitt Smith, organized the Grandpa's Talent Show with the White Plains High School students. And I talked to Joe yesterday, and he created a song, or a song was written called I Got Rhythm, We Got Rhythm. We got music. We're the grandpas who could ask for anything more. We do Facebook, we don't Insta. We're the grandpas who could ask for anything more. Well, Joe, I'm vaguely on tune, but you're always on tune. So want to thank you for your leadership. I know you've done great work with the chorus at the Senior Center, and you've been the leader of the White Plains Youth Bureau music program and chorus for many years. So we want to thank you and award you the Community Service Award for Grandpas United. Joe, you want to say a word or sing a bit or two, Joe? Is Joe where? I think if we get the others on, I also want to acknowledge Joe for bringing us together with Reverend Washington, with our Portchester colleagues and their church. So Joe, I don't know if you're on or not.
You might be back there vocalizing.
Well, why don't we have Reverend Washington say something about
That
Joe?
would be great. Reverend Washington, please.
First and foremost, I'm honored to be here this morning. Oh, what a joy it is to see men gather together in the twilight of their lives and give back. I'm just so humble, and I want to thank Frank Williams and Eisenberg, and I forget the other gentleman's name, who founded this great thing. You just didn't exist your life, you lived your life by helping other people. And I like the poem that Dr. Williamson said, looking to the future and what matters. Oh, what wisdom. Doesn't matter what kind of house you have, a car you drive, but what did you do? And I thank you for sharing that. Brother Mosley, he has a double portion of energy, and I'm sure you know that. He is a man who loves the Lord, and he works tirelessly with a creative mind. And we're blessed to have him in our life. So to God be the glory for the great things that he has done and is doing. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Washington. Frank, you want to go on with the next awards?
Yes. I am honored. Our next honoree is it's really somebody very, very special. His name is Wayne Sobers, and Wayne is an author. He wrote the book, The Harlem Line. I have a copy, and if you want a copy, I'm sure you will enjoy the reading. He talks about individuals who lived in the Westchester County area, people, outstanding individuals, African Americans who lived and worked in Harlem during the Harlem Renaissance and traveled the Harlem Line up into Westchester County. A fascinating book that speaks about giants in our entertainment and movie and political industry. He's a graduate of CCNY. He has a BS in meteorology, and also he attended Baruch College. He was an officer in the U.S. Navy. Wayne has traveled this country extensively. He's been a businessman, an entrepreneur, automobile dealer, a financial advisor. He's a man who wears many, many hats. He's been extensively involved with the Youth Bureau, with our entrepreneur program, our youth court program, our Grandpas Go to School program. He's a grandfather. He loves young people. He's a husband, a friend, community-oriented member. And so we are just so honored and happy to present to Wayne a Community Service Award for his leadership and for making White Plains a better community. Wayne Sobers. Wayne, you want to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Good.
Okay, I'm very, very pleased and honored to be recipient of this award. It means a lot to me from the standpoint that I'm working with young folk that I hope I'll have the opportunity to, with my interaction with them, I can enhance their life and give them a better opportunity to in their life. Thank you very much. I hope that we'll have many, many more grandpas joining us and we can expand this great organization. Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you, members of Grandpas United.
Thank you, Wayne.
Our next honoree is a dear friend of mine. His name is John Stewart. And John formerly worked here in the city of White Plains. He was the commissioner of the city's IT department. He has been actively involved with our Grandpas United program. He has been involved with the Bond Market Association, the Council of Foreign Relations, and the National Arbor Society. Just in terms of technology, he really is a visionary, a true leader in terms of IT. He has an MBA in finance, and he's a finance, marketing, IT person. He's been studying German, in fact, for the last 5 years, and building on German. He leaned in college, so he's going back to strengthen those German skills and to engage our young people in terms of their talents and skills. He's also looking forward to learning the Python programming language, whatever that's about. John, I'm sure you'll share that with us. Happy to learn a little bit more about that. But John has a really wonderful personality. He's friendly, he's outgoing. He's engaged with us as we try to make White Plains a better community for our children, youth, and families. So we're so very happy and pleased to present John with our Community Service Award. John Stewart.
Thank you very much. It was great. It's been a great opportunity to work with the kids and with the other grandpas. It's been a lot of fun. We've engaged with the kids at Church Street School, doing different projects, cartoons. Although one of the things one of the last things we've done with the Church Street kids was teaching them how to interact with adults and to shake hands and look somebody in the eye. Of course, now we're in a pandemic and forget about shaking hands, but it was certainly a great opportunity. It's a great time to mentor, and I encourage other grandpas to join us. It's a great opportunity. Thank you.
Congratulations, John. I think now we'll turn it over to Deacon Smith to provide the honors for our other two awardees. Deacon?
Good morning. It is a privilege and a pleasure to make this presentation from the Grandpas United, this Community Service Award, to two fine young men in the persons of Reverend Irvin R. Graves and Reverend Edwin Lee Trollinger. But first, I would just like to speak about Reverend Graves. Reverend Graves is retired from IBM after 28 years in multiple staff and middle management positions. At the conclusion of his tenure in IBM, he went on to head the Minority/Women Business Enterprises operation for the National Minority Business Council in New York, where he was responsible for procuring opportunities in industry for minority and women-owned businesses. He later entered into a business partnership and became president of Enercon. With some divine intervention, Reverend Graves later became the Associate for Family Ministry at Briarcliff UCC Church. With this experience and assuredly God's call, Reverend Graves went on to receive his MD degree from Drew University and was later ordained in the United Church of Christ. He's most recently served as the interim pastor of Westchester West Center Church in Bronxville, New York, and currently serves the Reformed Church of Cortland Town in Montrose, New York. Reverend has co-chaired the annual Veterans Day breakfast supported by local Westchester hospice agencies. He is a veteran of the United States Army, a life member of the NAACP, and a life member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. He is involved in numerous organizations and activities. Field of Court Initiative, and was the master of the ceremonies for Grandpas United Talent Night. He's also married to Dr. Marita Graves. It is my pleasure to introduce to some and present to all the Reverend Irvin R. Graves and present this wonderful award, the Community Service Award, that the Grandpas United shall be honored you this morning.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Reverend Graves,
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm here.
you have the floor.
Well, let me just say this. This isn't something that this is one of the things I least expected. Besides it being unexpected, it is an honor, but it is also a very humbling recognition. I have to say that. And as I accept this recognition, let me say how pleased I am to be a part of an organization such as Grandpas United, I think, which is a unique organization of men from all walks of life who are dedicated and devoted to the welfare of the youth, endeavoring to improve their life and livelihood. And one of the charming aspects of this organization is the fact that egos just don't seem to be allowed in our endeavors. Egos don't get in the way of getting things done in this organization. And so even though I am a recipient of this recognition, I'd like to applaud Frank Williams and the Youth Bureau, my fellow awardees, and all the grandpas for all they do. And a big thank you to all those who made this happen. I have to tell you that it's a birthday present, because tomorrow is my birthday. So a double joy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Irving Graves. You're a fine recipient. And now I would like to present to all the Reverend Irvin Lee Trollinger, who is the local pastor of the Calvary Baptist Church here in White Plains, New York.
Okay.
Reverend Trollinger was called to serve as the 6th pastor of the Calvary Baptist of White Plains in 2011. He introduced the ministry concept of church without walls, young adult ministry, ministry in action, and a senior citizen ministry titled the Golden Saints, made up of church members who are 75 to 103 years young. He attended Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, majoring in social work and theology, and earned his master's degree in sacred theology at the Christ Theological Seminary in Yonkers, New York. In October of 2013, Reverend Trollinger was elected president of the Ministerial Fellowship Council of White Plains and vicinity. Under his leadership, the council has continued to grow in influence in the Westchester County area. Under his administration, the council has conducted 2 successful marches and vigils. Reverend Trollinger has served as chaplain for the New York State Correction Facility at Sing Sing in Ossining, New York, for a period of 8 years. He was appointed to the Westchester County District Attorney's Reentry Program for returning inmates for the New York State Correctional Institution. He was also appointed to Westchester County Youth Board. He is a recipient of many dedicated service and achievement awards. During this year, 2019, Reverend Trollinger was returned to the prison ministry at Westchester County Correction Facility in Valhalla. Reverend Trollinger has shared the gospel in the nations of Jamaica, Great Britain, Uganda, Trinidad and Tobago, and Ghana. Reverend Trollinger was involved with the startup of Grandpas United, has been an active member and a strong supporter of Grandpas United efforts in White Plains. And just this past November, last month, Reverend Trollinger was given the Humanitarian Award at the AJC of Westchester and Fairfield County at their annual adversity breakfast. God bless you, Reverend Trollinger, and all that you do in our community.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you so very much for recognizing me on today. I'm honored to have been a part of the first meetings that were held at Calvary for Grandpas United, and still was actively a part by the way of Brother Frank Williams, amen, and Brother Eisenberg. Was interesting on last year that I was the keynote speaker for Grandpas United, and I said in that presentation in that morning that I was not a grandfather yet. Unbeknownst to me, that when I returned back to my church, I got a phone call from one of my children, and they said that they were expecting my first grandson. And so I said, now I'm a full-fledged member of Grandpa United. And so I am honored, and I thank you all for honoring me on today, to the members of Calvary, to the members of Ministers Council, to the members of the community at large. Thank you for recognizing the work that grandpas do. And I'm going to close out with this. At our first meeting that we held, we talked about the image and the branding of grandpas and how they were just seen as old men sitting on the porch, either grumpy or just not having anything to do. we made up in our minds that we would change that brand. And by changing that brand, Grandpa United has touched and affected lives of the young people throughout White Plains and eventually Westchester County, the state, and maybe even the world. So thank you for this recognition on today.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you, Reverend Trollinger. And of course, this Community Service Award is presented to you, well deserved. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We want to thank all of our awardees and all the speakers. I want to invite one of our strongest supporters and who's been actively involved with us over the last 2 years is City Council person Justin Brash, who's also the chair of the Youth Bureau Board. And I'd like to invite him, see if he might say a few words before we move to the closing. Thank you, Justin.
Good morning, everyone. I want to begin first by congratulating all the honorees and thanking you. And I know many of you in many different capacities. And yes, I was at that famous talent show and it was very entertaining and a lot of fun. As all of you, I want to thank, of course, Reverend Williamson for his inspirational words. As you all know, I'm very involved in Grandpas United. It's a unique program, one of the only Grandpas programs in America. And the work that is being done is amazing, mentoring, helping children, helping one another, helping the community and showing children their really positive, great things they can do in the world and giving them the leadership and the mentorship that they need. And I always like to take a moment of time, and I did, of course, know Saul Gibbons and the great work that he did. And I know the Newchum's family's great commitment to the Youth Bureau and Grandpas United. I just want to take a minute to thank the other people, the unsung heroes of our special programming today and throughout, which is the people who work at the Youth Bureau, whether it's Ellen Barth or Frank Williams or Gina Covington or Bhavna or all the other people that are doing great work day in and day out for our youth, help support Grandpas United and so support our city and help support everyone. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to them for all they do. Thank you to Grandpas, and I look forward to many, many great times together celebrating the great work that everyone here is doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justin. So before our closing remarks, one, I want to let everyone know that you can go on the White Plains Youth Bureau website, and there's a link to Grandpas United. So we welcome you doing that. Again, we want to thank everyone who's been supportive. A special thank you again to Encore, who's been an organization to provide a lot of support to Grandpas United. Also, as Justin just did, really want to acknowledge Ellen Barth, who's been a great manager and director of working with us with Grandpas United. And of course, everyone at the Youth Bureau who's been fantastic. So I'd like to ask Nick Wolf to provide the closing remarks for today's session. Nick? See how we...
Jim, can you hear me?
Oh, hello.
Huh?
Hi, Jim.
This is Joe Mojo. Hi, Joe.
Oh, hang on one sec. Hello, Joe.
Yeah, I got the song ready.
So Nick.
Oh,
I got your song.
Jim. Nice to see you and everybody there today. What a great program. I always need more elves to help me, and the Grandpas United is like permanent, ongoing, annual, yearly elves, and you work round the clock, not just when presents are being given, but you're giving your time to mentor young people and make the world and the youth world a better place, and it's really wonderful. And I want to specifically tell you that we have on the list from the North Pole, no coal this year for Joseph Mosley or Winnette Somers. John Stewart, he's definitely not getting coal. The Reverend Irvin Graves, and the Reverend Erwin Trollinger. You guys are all in the good
category, and we're making sure, and we're grateful that you have given so much to so many kids to make them feel special. Grandpa's is a very important organization because Christmas is a nice time to feel special and get gifts. And you, during the rest of the year, make sure that these kids feel special. And your gift is your time and your mentorship. And it's a wonderful thing that you do for the community. And I'm hoping, as Shelley Mayer said, we can replicate it throughout the state and the country. And I thank everybody who's on the Grandpa's United board and committees, and Jim for your leadership, and Frank. Goes without saying, you've got a brand new grandchild, and Santa is lucky. He has 3 beautiful granddaughters and just had 2 weeks ago a brand new grandson. 17 years difference between my youngest and my youngest granddaughter and my youngest grandson now, newborn. So it's very exciting, and I am with you guys in spirit and always there for you whenever you need it. And I thank you for this wonderful program. It was great. I wish you all a happy holiday. Justin, I wish you a happy Hanukkah. Today's the first day of Hanukkah, and we know you celebrate, and wish you a happy Hanukkah. And we're all inclusive, and we wish you health and safety and lots of happiness and everything you wish for. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Thank you, Santa. Nick Wolf.
Jim,
I think as we close, Frank, do you want to say something in conclusion? And Joe, thank you.
well, I'm ready for your song.
You got a song? Here you go.
All right. First of all, let me thank Reverend Washington and Sister Washington for their support, and they are new grandparents.
Oh, congratulations.
Okay, here's a song.
Here you go.
We've got rhythm, we've got music, we're the grandpas. Who could ask for anything more? We do Facebook, we don't Insta. We're the grandpas. Who could ask for anything more? We're delighted, we're united, and we're proud to take the floor. We bring good times, no more bad times. Now it's show time. Who could ask for anything more?
Fantastic, Joe. Thank you so much. And congratulations. Frank, anything you'd like to say as we close?
Yeah, I just want to say I want to thank everyone for being a part of our celebration. And if there's anybody you know who's interested in joining our Grandpa's United program, just call us here at the White Plains Youth Bureau, and that number is 422-1378. That's 914-422-1378. We want to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Please be healthy, be safe. Make sure that when you go out, you wear your mask. Continue to do good work, and we will see you together soon.
Thanks so much, Frank. Thanks to everyone. Congratulations to the honorees. And as I usually say now, onwards as we move forward together. Thank you so much, Grandpa's United, and all of our colleagues and friends for joining us today. Take care and best wishes.
Best wishes. Take care.